time's up.
Okay. All right, so time's up, everyone. The preparation time has ended. Speakers, please turn on your cameras so that we may begin. Before we can start the debate, the speakers for USM should state their speaker position. So can I know your first, second, and third speaker, USM?
Hi, I am the first speaker.
Shara Russ, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And the second speaker is Nur Helwani.
All right.
And the third speaker is Ui Iling.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So now can I know the speaker positions for Palam?
Hi, my name is Siti Nurani.
Okay.
I have been mandated to be as the whip opposition, the third speaker.
Okay.
While the first speaker is Muhammad Aziz Yahya, the first speaker.
Right.
And the second opposition speaker, which is Amira Wani Jamil. Thank you.
Okay. Just give me a moment while I type that in. Can I know your short names?
Palam or what?
For Palam, yes.
Okay. First speaker Haziq, second Amira, the third one Nurani. Nurrani. Thank you.
And for USM, can I know your short names?
You can call me Sasa. I mean, the one in the
sorry, I
Shararat.
don't mean your nicknames, just like the
Shararat. Okay,
Okay.
and Nur Helwani will be Helwani, and Ui Iling is Ui Iling.
Okay. Okay, just give me a moment. I'm typing that into the chat. Okay, so just check the speaker positions in chat. Is everything correct?
Yes.
Okay. Good morning to the honorable adjudicators, lecturers, debaters, ladies and gentlemen. Before we start our debate today, please mute your microphones to ensure there'll be no disturbance to the floor of this debate. I would like all participants to turn on their cameras for this competition. I am Mas Aisha Sofia, and I will be the chairperson for this debate session. Meanwhile, Noor Amina will be the timekeeper for this debate. This House would like to call upon the motion that this House believes that artificial intelligence, AI, should govern and oversee the country of Malaysia. Now is usually where I would state all the rules and regulations of this debate, but I think you all know it already. Does anyone need me to clarify again on timekeeping and stuff? No? Okay. So for Palam, actually for the assignment, the room assignment, you were actually supposed to be, in the second round, you're supposed to be government. So I think there was some confusion there. Apologies from the organizers. We'll try to take note in the future. Okay. Back to the script. All debaters are expected to have a reliable and good internet connection during this debate. Should there be any unavoidable circumstances where debaters lose connection during their speech, 5 minutes will be granted for debaters to regain their connection. If debaters fail to gain connection within the 5 minutes, marks will be given according to how far they presented before the connection was lost. So the bell will ring once at the end of the first minute, the bell will ring once at the end of the 6th minute, and the bell will ring twice at the end of 7 minutes, which means that after the bell rings twice, you'll have 15 seconds to conclude your speech. And after that, if you do not conclude your speech, the bell will ring continuously every 10 seconds. Is everyone clear on the timing of the bells for the speech? Okay. A sound check will be done now as I announce the speakers of each team. When your name is called, please test your microphones to ensure you are audible. Please inform the committee if there are any problems or technical issues. USM will be acting as the government team with Shararat as the Prime Minister. Helwani is the Deputy Prime Minister. Could you test your microphone?
My name is Helwani.
Okay, thanks. And Wei Yiling as the government whip.
Good morning, everyone. Can you all hear me clear?
All right, yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Then Palam for UITM Putra Alam will be acting as the opposition team for this debate, with Hasik as the first speaker, opposition leader. Hasik, could you test your microphone?
Hello, hi.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Amira as the deputy leader of opposition.
Hello, morning.
Okay, thank you. And Norani as the opposition whip.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Okay, thank you. We can hear you clearly. I shall now introduce our adjudicators, Mr. Arfi Yahya and Mr. Kabiraj Shekhar. Are they inside the Kabiraj and Arfi Yahya? If you're here, could you just?
Yes.
Okay, so both of you are here. I can't see all the participants. Or if there's only one, then I think it should be fine. Okay. Now, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I call upon the Prime Minister, Shararath, to open the case for government. The floor is yours. Oh, also, I
want to see time.
Okay. Amal, could you stop sharing your screen? I also recommend that the debaters time themselves as well in case there are any technical issues.
Can I ask, is it my background voice noise?
No, I can't hear any background noise.
Okay.
Amal, could you stop sharing your screen? Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Again, we'll show the time on screen, but I would also recommend that debaters time themselves as well, just in case there are any technical issues or there any lag or something like that. Okay.
Okay.
So the first speaker for the Prime Minister for government team, you may open the case for government. The floor is yours.
Okay. Good morning to Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. So the motion for our debate is that this House believes that artificial intelligence, AI, should govern and oversee the country of Malaysia. Now, we as today proposition strongly believes that this is true. But before we come to our actual argumentation, let us define some important terms in this debate. We believe that what is meant by artificial intelligence, which is AI, is a computer system that is able to perform tasks normally requiring human intelligence, such as visual perception, speech recognition, decisions making, and translation between languages. As in for govern, it is defined as to conduct the policy, actions, and affairs of a state, organizations, or people with authority. The government of Malaysia, officially the federal government of Malaysia, is based in the federal territory of Putrajaya, with the exception of the legislative branch, which is located in Kuala Lumpur, where the Prime Minister is now Ismail Sabri Yaakob. Okay. Artificial intelligence could be one the most powerful tools for policymakers to pursue a data-driven policy approach. With machine learning, predictive analytics techniques, it will provide a precise image of what the country needs and how its problem could be solved. Okay, so today as the first speaker, I'll be talking to you mainly, for our team split, we will be focusing on the political aspect and also economic aspect. So today, as the first speaker, I'll be talking to you about how AI should govern and oversee the country of Malaysia, where it can provide political balance. It could store large data sets and diverse data. And our second speaker will be talking about how AI makes better decision in proposing development and AI reducing human errors. Our third speaker will rebut and sum up our team case. Okay. I am going to discuss 2 points. So my first point is how AI maintains political balance. Okay. In Malaysia, one does not need anthropologists to study the group of people we call politicians or political analysis to study their motive. One needs a zoologist, in particular, a herpetologist who studies frog, because political frogs are the most dangerous species in our political zoo. As we can see, as the government, we can see most of the politicians, they jump from parties to parties. And political frogs cause instability as they make people mistrust and despise politicians. They alter the political equation and neglect to honor the voting public that put them in power. So what they have in mind is power and also money, which will make the government unstable. So with AI can ease on how they maintain political balance. So from a public policy perspective, government around the world or even in Malaysia should maintain and sharpen their country's competitive edge by funding further research and development in AI. The government of Canada has allocated targeted AI funding aimed at increasing the number of AI researchers to develop global thought leadership on the economic, ethical, policy, and legal implications of advances in artificial intelligence. And to date, more than 30 other countries have published AI strategy documents. With AI collaborating with civil society organizations, academics, and private firms, it can develop an appropriate governance framework where AI both within and outside of governments. So, and the next point is where the AI could store a large data sets. So with AI in political, there's so many documents and data set where it requires it involves the whole Malaysia. So it's not as if storage and other issue with big data have gone
POI, please.
bye-bye. Sorry. So there's a large data set where they are too large for employees to work efficiently, and there's multiple data set that could be combined to provide a greater insight. With AI, where data take a variety of forms, such as visual or linguistic, can be summarized regularly. AI can be used to assist members of the government, members of the public to interact with government and also access government service in assisting with settlements. So with AI, it promotes the transparency of political world. Okay. So, Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, what I have said today is that how we believe that AI should govern and oversee the country of Malaysia is from the political aspect, where it provides transparency and political balance in government. Thank you.
Thank you to Shararaf, the Prime Minister, for presenting your speech. The Prime Minister spoke for 6 minutes, 35 seconds. Next, I would like to invite the opposition leader, Hasik, to state the opposition's objections with regards to today's motion. The floor is yours. Hold on, wait for the timer. Okay. Okay. Now you can start your speech when you're ready.
I'm ready. As more and more artificial intelligence is entering into the world, more and more emotional intelligence must enter into leadership. This is quote from Amit Ray, author of Compassionate Artificial Intelligence. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning to respective judges and our opponent teams. Thank you for the opportunity. Next, I would like to deliver our motion today. Our motion today is the self-belief that artificial intelligence should govern and oversee the country of Malaysia. But I will structure back the definition of the motion one by one that government team doesn't explain very well. The first key point is artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence, or sometimes called machine intelligence, is intelligence demonstrated by machines in contrast to the natural intelligence displayed by humans and other animals. Some of the activities that it is designed to do is speech recognition, learning, planning, and problem solving. The second key point is govern, to control and direct the public business of a country, city, group of people. And the last point is oversee. Oversee is to watch or organize a job or an activity to make certain that is being done. From the motion, we will give our team line that we, as the opposition team, totally disagree the motion, which is this House believes that artificial intelligence should govern and oversee the country of Malaysia. Well, continuing to our team split, I am Muhammad Haziq. As the first speaker, I'll deliver my argument, which is high cost of implementation, and Amirawani Jamil, as the second speaker, will deliver our two arguments, and last, Nurani, as the third speaker, who will deliver more proof and brief summary of our arguments. Firstly, I will start to dispute the arguments from the first speaker, how maintain political balance. Power and money itself, that first speaker said, already showed that our motion today should be disagreed. Do you show the evidence that Malaysia could fund artificial intelligence to be implemented? No, right. So unfortunately, Malaysia does not have any specific policy on artificial intelligence, though the previous government announced that it will develop a national artificial intelligence framework as an expansion of the existing national big data analytics framework. The present government formulated the National Policy on Industry 4.0 in 2018, where artificial intelligence is listed as one of the enabling technologies, and Malaysia Digital Economic Corporation Sdn Bhd has taken initiative to finalize the National Artificial Intelligence Framework by 2019. Now, I will explain the first point of our opposition team, which the government team really believes our motion today, artificial intelligence should govern. That doesn't believe our motion today, artificial intelligence govern and oversee the country of Malaysia. The main point for our team is high cost of implementation. Setting up artificial intelligence.
UI, please.
Sorry, no. Setting up artificial intelligence based machine computers entails huge costs given the complexity of engineering that goes into building one. Further, the astronomical expense doesn't stop there, as repair and maintenance also run into thousands of dollars. Therefore, I will explain why high cost of implementation is important to rethinking back if Malaysia wants to implement this artificial intelligence. The performance of the artificial intelligence algorithm itself. This is our point, which is because sufficient algorithm performance is one of the major cost factors to consider, because accurate prediction requires several rounds of tuning sessions, which raises the cost of implementing artificial intelligence solutions. The higher the accuracy and efficiency of the artificial intelligence prediction, the more the cost of implementing the solution. So this already the evidence that Malaysia could not implement artificial intelligence in our country. Do you know how much it costs Apple to acquire its virtual assistant Siri? The acquisition of the software costs somewhere around a whopping 200 billion. Further, the high cost of artificial intelligence implementation is evident from the fact that Amazon acquired Al-Azhar for 26 million in 2015. So this already shows that artificial intelligence require high cost of implementation. And lastly, the amount of data the artificial intelligence application will consume artificial intelligence devices perform according to the data loaded in the system. It can absorb both structured and unstructured data. But when it comes to cost, structured data are cheaper to work with, especially if there is enough data to boost the artificial intelligence algorithms accuracy. So I will explain back why we should disagree our motion today. So the first thing is high cost of implementation. So below high cost of implementation, there are 2 points that we should believe that our motion today should be disagree. The first point is the performance of the artificial intelligence algorithm, and the last thing is the amount of data the artificial intelligence application will consume. So today, I, the first speaker, Muhammad Haji Biaya, disbelieve that artificial intelligence should govern and oversee the country of Malaysia. Thank you.
Thank you, Leader of Opposition. The Leader of Opposition spoke for 6 minutes, 37 seconds. Just a note about the timer, you won't be able to hear the bell because of some technical issues. So again, sorry about all the technical issues. If you want the bell, I would recommend timing yourself. So now to continue our debate today, I call upon the Deputy Prime Minister, Helwani, to counter the opposition's arguments.
Good morning to the respected speaker, cautious timekeeper, honorable judges, members of the opposite team, and members of the floor. So we agree that every success must start with a dream, hence supporting the motion of artificial intelligence should govern and oversee the country of Malaysia, and that is the future. So as the second speaker, I'm going to rebut the arguments presented by the opposition team. So I'll be giving out my positive materials. What I heard from the leader of the opposition was going around the bush without pointing out what was wrong in doing AI to govern the Malaysia. I don't think the leader of opposition knows what are the capabilities of artificial intelligence. He stated only cost outstanding cost without pointing out the main point of AI. First, before that, I would like to point out what was wrong with their arguments. They said that AI actually requires high cost of implementation in our country. I had to disagree with that statement, as the technology that we're using in today's society has been nothing but a major improvement in our daily life. And with AI, we can actually predict certain vulnerabilities in the economy that could lead to more unemployment, which we could solve them beforehand. So the leader of opposition fails to understand our mechanism to begin with. They also said that AI requires high amount of data and that the performance needed a lot of work and money to implement. Yeah. So this is the, as the second speaker of the government, I said that this is the only best way that we can solve this problem by supporting the motion, as this help in tackling and trying to solve the fundamental problems mentioned in our society that lead to this kind of crisis. Therefore, I would like to reaffirm the points given by the Prime Minister, which is how AI can actually maintain political balance, because from a public policy perspective, governments around the world are seeking to maintain and sharpen their country's competitive edge by funding further research and development. As the Prime Minister mentioned about the politicians being political frogs and how it promotes transparency in the political world. And the second point was AI can actually store large data sets and diverse data. So as today, we want as much data as we can get, and not only to drive better insight into business problems we're trying to solve, but because of the more data we put through the machine learning models, the better they get. So it's a virtuous cycle in that way. Hence, with the help of AI, it can generate algorithms based on the current trend of the country that could assist the country in maintaining political balance, generating a law that could benefit everyone, somehow can make smarter decisions. Because as we all know, politicians sometimes make decisions that may be based on biases.
please.
Human beings make emotional errors and biasness. So human nature is faulty, incapable of maintaining a balanced, neutral state of mind, where decisions are sometimes made 50-50. So today I'll be giving you my points. On how Malaysia can actually navigate its future economy with AI. There are tremendous economic and productivity gains resulting from AI. According to McKinsey, 50% of work time in Malaysia is spent on repetitive activities that are highly automable. And AI can automate routine tasks, augment employees' capabilities, and allow time to focus on more stimulating and higher value adding work. So my first point is that AI can actually reduce human errors. With AI as an instrument inside our political portfolio, we will have the opportunity to reduce the number of human and process errors. And many private companies are using emerging technologies such as artificial intelligence, robotics, cloud computing to improve their efficiency and productivity. So there are many areas where artificial intelligence applications can be used in the public. Yes.
Okay, great. Can you elaborate more on in terms of the human errors that you have stated?
Yeah, the human errors, as in like how, sorry, okay. Maybe you're saying that AI cannot actually reduce human error, but we just stated that politicians make decisions based on a bias. So AI actually depends on codes and algorithms that have been checked and run before introduced to the market. So did I answer your question? So I'm gonna continue. So please concentrate on what I'm going to explain on how AI reduces human errors, because how AI systems are helping with the routine day-to-day administrative tasks to minimize human errors and maximize efficiency. So AI can actually go through thousands of documents in a matter of seconds and ascertain if there's a problem is in good hands. This is beneficial because it would be devoid of any human errors or biases. And the second point would be how this would lead to the second point on how AI make better decisions in proposing development. Because rule-based algorithms or step-by-step computer executed instruction can actually evaluate applicants for a benefit, position, or status against the priority articulated criteria. So to conclude, technologies are helping humans face and solve new challenges that weren't made before. And for that reason, we cannot deny how human nature is faulty, incapable of maintaining a balanced, neutral state of mind. And with that, I'm proud to propose. Thank you.
Thank you, Halwani. The Deputy Prime Minister spoke for 6 minutes and 48 seconds. Next, I would like to call upon the Deputy Leader of Opposition, Amira. The floor is yours.
Artificial intelligence is likely to be either the best or worst thing to happen in humanity. A quote by Stephen Hawking. Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning to all in this floor. My name is Amirani. I am the second speaker, and I would like to start by why artificial intelligence should not govern the country and oversee of Malaysia. Okay, first of all, I would like to state the capabilities of AI and why is it so wrong that it should not be governed by the country of Malaysia. Number one, the first thing that stated by the first Prime Minister is that by the political issue where it is very transparency and for the political balance. But in my opinion, this would disrupt the political balance in the government of Malaysia. This is because of the power and money, like stated by the Prime Minister, the power that the politicians has that can manipulate the artificial intelligence, which is the computer system. This system is actually made by us, humankind, and it has so many drawbacks and disadvantages that could give an advantage to the politicians because they are the ones who are powerful enough to actually manipulate this system. Next, the next point that you mentioned was about the data sets, the amount of data sets that artificial intelligence can collect. Correct, they can collect so much data, but what would they do with that so many data? They're not just going to keep it for the government themselves. The government can actually sell those data to other bodies to actually gain advantage for themselves. This could actually affect the privacy of each country and actually could create the next war because of these data has been sold to other places. Plus, these data that was collected by artificial intelligence can actually be hacked by us humans, who has also one of the greatest thinking to actually create and program something to actually hack the system and get the data. These data is very crucial to all because it gives out so many informations to actually create something. Okay. Okay. Okay, the next thing, the next thing is that these data that the artificial intelligence collected does not come from thin air. It comes from someone or something. Someone means the people who are powerful enough to actually manipulate those data and create a manipulation from there. People could actually get the wrong data because of this, because of the people who actually have the power to manipulate the artificial intelligence. Therefore, when these data have been manipulated, and it could create a more disruption to the whole body, to the government system, and this could actually give the benefits. Sorry, were you saying something?
POI.
Oh, no. No, sorry. I would like to finish my sentence. Where was I? Okay, this could disrupt the whole system when the data have been manipulated for the powerful people to actually gain advantage. Next, the point that you guys gave, the government gave, was public to interact with the government. Public to interact with the government. But it is stated that this artificial intelligence was the one to govern the country of Malaysia. What does it mean by having public to interact with government using artificial intelligence when the artificial intelligence is the government itself? That's why it is somewhat a dispute between two of your points just now. And the next thing that you stated, this future artificial intelligence that governs the country of Malaysia is an improvement to the country of Malaysia. How could you be so sure that this is an improvement when it could actually destroy the destroy the culture and the races that we have now developed. Because artificial intelligence is also one of a way to manipulate the people, especially in the news, where you can actually create a lie because to gain benefits from the political part. And how could you be so sure that this is an improvement when artificial intelligence manipulate the people who watches the news or even in the newspaper and could actually start a dispute against races and anything that could any social issues that could create more dispute. This is not an improvement. Plus, this artificial intelligence who create the policy can also be manipulated. This artificial intelligence has so many drawbacks and it can be manipulated to create so many kinds of dispute to the people. This is not an improvement. This would create more chaos to the country. Therefore, I believe that this artificial intelligence should not govern and oversee the country of Malaysia because of its drawbacks. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Deputy Leader of Opposition. The Deputy Leader of Opposition spoke for 7 minutes and 13 seconds. Next, I would like to call upon the government whip, Oi Ling, to continue the government's case. The floor is yours.
A very good morning to the Madam Speaker, honorable judges, timekeepers, and members of the floor. The debate topic today is that this House believes that artificial intelligence should govern and oversee the country of Malaysia. Before I start to summarize the points from our side affirmative team, I would like to take this opportunity to first rebut on some problematic issues that have been raised up by the opposition team. Firstly, from the opposition leader, he did mention about AI is going to cause high cost of implementation. However, this statement is not true as we can always utilize the free AI softwares that is going to benefit every walks of life. Do you know that Google search engine is actually an example of AI and it costs nothing because it's free and what you need is only a gadget, internet, and also electricity. Doesn't it mean that AI is going to be affordable for all? Secondly, the opposition leader has also tried to convince us on the maintenance systems that AI is going to cost on those users. However, it is not true because AI can be used to monitor developing problems, determine when preventive maintenance need to be made, or even direct human behavior for optimum security and safety. Talking in the context of economy, preventative maintenance is always better than to have major breakdown when everything is gone and you may have to restart your business, your structuring, and so on. Prevention is always better than cure. Doesn't you agree on that? Secondly, okay, I will continue with the points from the deputy opposition leader that she mentioned about Stephen Hawking in warning the development of AI. Yes, Elon Musk is also rejecting AI at first to warn people on that. But however, he's now sinking large amount of money into something that scares him, which is the AI, to develop AI because he knows that AI will bring numerous and even countless of advantages to all. What we need is only a better policy and also system to monitor it. And next, how politicians can use the amount of money to manipulate. That is mentioned by the deputy opposition leader. Politicians don't use that amount to develop AI, but to manipulate. Who do you refer to? Manipulate the people? Is it? And they mentioned about selling data to other bodies and privacy issues that is related to cybersecurity. However, by using AI, we can actually spot cyber threats and possibly malicious activities. Traditional software systems simply cannot keep pace with the sheer number of new malware created every week. However, AI really help with that because AI are set with algorithm that is going to learn itself and it collects data from all over the world and is developing itself every second. Next, we'll talk about the data that has been inserted in AI may be manipulated or tampered, that is raised up by the deputy opposition leader. However, do you know that there's actually fairness tools that is developed to govern and oversee the AI system to create fairness in AI? For example, to name a few, there are FATE, which stand for Fairness, Accountability, Transparency, and Ethics in AI by Microsoft offers tools to access visualization dashboard and to seek for bias mitigation algorithms. This is what AI has been done to overlook and make sure that the system is going to be fair and square. So now I will continue to summarize the points from us, the affirmative team. So our Prime Minister has tried to tell you that AI maintains political balance. AI provides an easy access to its data, and this is where the government is going to interact with the people, as been raised as by the deputy opposition leader. We reduce the gap between government and the people, and we tell them the reasons behind every policy, the benefits that's going to be brought to them, and this is where transparency of political world can be reached. And this is where we are creating interaction between the government and the people. Next, our Prime Minister has talked about AI can store large data sets and diverse data. Yes, AI stores larger, more diverse data than any human intervention memory can do. And it provides security against that. People may betray you, but AI with protective cybersecurity, AI is a strong barrier against any fraud and misuse. Our Deputy Prime Minister has told about AI in reducing human error. The phrase human error was born because humans make mistakes from time to time. Computers, however, do not make these mistakes if they are programmed properly. So errors are reduced and the chance of reaching accuracy with a greater degree of precision is a possibility. Finally, our Deputy Prime Minister has also talked about AI in making better decisions in proposing development. Yes, AI collects billions of data uploaded online, learn from the past experience while comparing and analyzing the current situations without forgetting to predict and foresee the future trend. So, indeed, AI is suggesting the best decision that serves the people. Setting can also be made, maybe economy-oriented, or even to have cultural preference in design or people-oriented. That is up to the users, and AI is a tool to make a better future. With this, I would like to strongly agree on the statement and the motion today that this House believes that artificial intelligence should govern and oversee the country of Malaysia. Thank you.
Thank you, Government Whip, for the points given. The Government Whip spoke for 6 minutes and 53 seconds. Next, I would like to call upon the Opposition Whip, Nurani, to present their case. The floor is yours.
Testing, can you hear me?
Sorry, can you reset the timer? Thank you. Okay. Yes, you can speak whenever you're ready and the timer will start when you start speaking. And yes, we can hear you. Okay, thank you.
Although media headlines imply we are already living in future where our artificial intelligence has infiltrated every aspect of society, this actually sets unrealistic expectations about what can really do for humanity. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And salam sejahtera. Nurani as the third speaker opposition here. Salam to all of the government team. Have a nice day. To the respected chairperson, the timekeeper. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. With the mandate that have been given to me today, I will summarize our best argument as a opposition disagreeing to the motion that have been given today, which is this House believe that artificial intelligence, which is AI, should govern and oversee the country of Malaysia. At first, I will review the government sites of information. I have some point here today. On the first point, the government, they have been saying that government should fund AI for political and whatsoever, but did you not giving us the proof on how AI should relatedly with the political itself? Secondly, the first speaker from the government team did not accept any of my point of information, which is POI, where this deliver to the point of our view from opposition team. The government did not try to discuss about this issue, but they just giving statement without any data and any factual impact. Other than that, the third point is you have been saying about political issues and other stuff that related to artificial intelligence. Unfortunately, Malaysia nowadays does not have any specific policy on AI, which is artificial intelligence, through the previous government or the nowadays government. So how can the government team nowadays keep saying that there is a relation between this political stuff and artificial intelligence itself? Government team, let me explain or give you one of our solid facts, which is there were news. Can I continue? Later you can give me POI, okay?
All right.
Government team, let me give you one of our solid facts, which is there were news that has been posted all around Facebook, Twitter, which is News Straight Time, saying that there were a potential risk associated with the use of artificial intelligence in the government, included AI becoming a susceptible to bias. Again and again, the second speaker from the government team should be explaining about the human error, but she did reply by saying that the politician bias. But did you really touch the fact that the politician bias did not give any relatable connection with the artificial intelligence itself that you have been saying on your motion today? Ladies and gentlemen, next, the point that the government speaker, the government second speaker, sorry, trying to say is about data. But on our side, we surely have fact here that AI system itself need a lot of data to function, but the public sector typically does not have any appropriate data infrastructure to support the advance of nowadays. We needed the advance of artificial intelligence. We nowadays claim that there will be a leaking problem. The news today from Petaling Jaya, I can read the news, where the personal details of some 46.2 million mobile number and private stuff whatsoever in Malaysia are at stake, which is believed to be one of the largest data breaches ever seen in the country. The staff will reported this thing. Other than that, the point is, we nowadays claim that the fact AI nowadays give error because from the news we had a few days back, a few weeks back, Malaysian personal information has been leaking. So how can government keep saying that AI, artificial intelligence, can surely ensure a large data set while there have been a leaking problem that clearly prove that this AI has so many drawbacks in Malaysia. This AI will not giving any improvement, but like my true opposition is saying that AI will bring chaos in Malaysia. The next point is the second speaker again giving statement without any data, which is AI giving work opportunity to others. How AI can make better resolution and whatsoever. Then I will strongly mention to rebuke the point again and again here, which is the third speaker have been saying about cyber security on AI system. Again, I want to repeat, did you open your eyes about the cases that happened? 4 million data of person in Malaysia have been leaking everywhere. Second, they say Google is free, not gadget, but what does Google has do with these governing things and whatsoever? And lastly, where there's a big problem involving about political issues, how can AI solve this kind of problem made by the human itself? Therefore, we totally against our motion today, which is this House believe that artificial intelligence should govern and oversee the country of Malaysia. Thank you. That's all from me.
Thank you, Opposition Whip. The Opposition Whip spoke for 6 minutes and 41 seconds. Now, 3 minutes will be given to both teams to prepare for their reply speeches. The time starts now. Okay, your 3 minutes is up. Before we start, can I know who's going to be giving the reply speech for opposition team?
I would give the reply speech from the opposition team.
Sorry, I can't see your camera. Which person is speaking right now?
Sorry, what were you saying?
Sorry, what's the name of the person who's giving the reply speech for opposition? Because I can't see.
Amira.
Okay. And you are the second speaker, right?
Yes.
Okay. And who'll be giving the reply speech for government?
I am.
Could you give me your name? I can't see the.
Shararat.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
And you are the first speaker, right?
Yes.
Okay. Just hold on a moment. Okay, so Amir will be giving the opposition reply speech and Sharath will be giving the government reply speech. Ladies and gentlemen, this debate will resume with the reply speeches. Let us now invite the opposition team to sum up the case for today's debate. The floor is yours.
Excuse me.
Sorry, yeah.
The time has started. I haven't said anything.
Oh, yeah.
Yet.
Timekeeper, please start only when the debater has started their speech.
Okay. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am the second speaker from the opposition team will now give the reply speech on why we totally disagree why artificial intelligence should not govern and oversee the country of Malaysia. From the government side, we would like to dispute on most of their points. I've refused the government side and I will deliver the arguments. They say that the artificial intelligence could give out the political transparency, but this political transparency will give out a political advantage to manipulate the people, the citizen, as artificial intelligence were created by us, humankind. And it also can be manipulated by us, human. Next, it is the political balance. But how can it be a balance when this artificial intelligence is a great tool as a manipulation to the people, as it would give more disruption to the politics? Next is the reduced human errors. But as we all know, that the artificial intelligence is a system, is a computer system that is created by humankind, which is us, that has so many drawbacks and disadvantages. And plus, this system can also have its drawbacks. And its drawbacks can actually create a more impactful disadvantage to the people. Next, you mentioned about the data collection. This data collection, what I've stated, could be manipulated and sold for the political advantage. But as you stated on the cybersecurity, this cybersecurity can also be hacked because it is a computer system. This computer system can also be used, can also be hacked by people who actually created the system itself. And as you stated on the sophisticated policy making, this sophisticated policy making, it is not efficient for us. How can you be so sure that the policy making from the system with the algorithm that was done can actually help us, the citizen, when the policy makers, the artificial intelligence itself could actually make mistakes from the algorithm and the program done by us? From the evidence that we have clearly stated, and that we have clearly stated that this artificial intelligence, it is not an advantage to anyone, but for the politics. Therefore, we disagree and disbelieve that artificial intelligence should govern and oversee the country of Malaysia. Thank you.
Thank you. Opposition reply speaker. The opposition spoke for 3 minutes and 15 seconds in their reply speech. Lastly, we welcome the government team to sum up their case for today's debate.
Okay, I'm gonna start now. So I don't think the opposition side actually concentrate or even listen to what we have been saying. So from what I hear, the second speaker is agreeing with human error by saying the government would sell information. And also I would like to ask this to the leader of opposition as well, where you say AI can take over the world. I believe that the opposition watched too many movies. So ladies and gentlemen, it is very clear that the entire debate of side opposition and the side of government has been on a different pages. I think we might be on a different book as well, because this entire debate clearly state right there in the motion given, which is artificial intelligence should govern and oversee the country of Malaysia. The opposition team fails to elaborate how AI, the technology itself, is going to threat human race, but only addressing how the misuse of AI by human beings will harm the whole world. Guns don't kill people, people kill people. So I think you are agreeing to the motion more than opposing it. So what is this debate actually about? This House side of the opposition says that we are here to debate about how AI should govern and oversee the country of Malaysia. Side opposition are supposed to prove to us why supporting AI technology is bad. They've been pulling the debate towards their side this entire day because we are here to discuss the reason on why we should support the motion or why we should not support the motion. So as you said that Malaysia didn't state on what policies on the AI. I mean, for your information, the Malaysian government announced plans to develop a national artificial intelligence framework in October 2017. Please do your study more on what AI could really do. When you say about the humans, about AI is being input by human and it could be being, how do you say, affected by how human input the data. But AI, you should think of it. AI is a artificial intelligence where they could learn it by themselves. So I think for the opposition team, I think you guys did not do much of the reading. And you also said that the possible of breach of information database is risky, but it's not AI who sell the information, it's the human. So AI is helping in on how to maintain the balance of the political sides. So I wanted to say that with the help of AI, it could assist the country in maintaining political balance. And for that, so with all the arguments in mind, we should embrace the technological progress that AI represents and all of the potential that it has and it has to change our lives for the better. So Mr. Chairman, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, for this, we agree on this House believes that AI should govern and oversee the country of Malaysia. Thank you.
Thank you for summing up the government's case. The government reply speech was 4 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, with that marks the end of the debate today. The honorable adjudicator may be directed to another breakout room for 10 minutes to decide the winner of this debate. Adjudicator, is only one adjudicator here or two adjudicators?
Yeah, if it's only me, I think I don't need
Yeah,
to
okay.
go to the
Yeah,
breakout room.
so yeah, okay, so you'll have 10 minutes to decide. So I think we can just leave you in here.
Okay. Well, I just keep everybody here. I think I want to give direct OA. Just right
Oh,
now.
you,
Yes, I have done.
oh, so you've already decided?
Yep.
Could you announce the results?
Okay, everybody, you have done a good job. I think all of you, even if I saw like flaws inside of both teams, like the understanding of the motions is really important. And here, this is Asian debating, Asian parliamentary. The first what the most vital step, one of the most vital aspects of Asian debating is not to be defensive. Defensive is so bad in here because you have to engage with the other other arguments. You engage with them and you understand well. If you don't understand, you don't reply. Just like that. You don't rebut. Like here, this is about AI. Well, I do like yes. Not that much good, but I think the first government have already defined well, good, not bad, about the AI, the visual, the speech, the decision making, but a lack of what? Lack of engagement to the political thing. When they say this is a political balance, how could it make like the political balance, even if we say that it may less errors, etc., etc., and it could be explained well more about it, but the how it could reducing human errors because when you call about jumps parties, etc., here you should like okay, this is Malaysia, and you should also mention about Malaysia. Is it like US? Is it like UK? Is it like what you could say Russia or even Japan, who has already done the AI? Because when we talk about AI, it's not about Industrial Revolution 4.0. It's more than that. It's 5.0. So it's making It's making it's not all of the machines, right? I'm not talking everything should be machinery, but it is just like more than we could just decide. The AI could decide, the AI could process. This is not only giving us analytics, but they could also move themselves. This is, but the first government did define well, I think. But yeah, the transparency here. When you talk about the transparency, what kind of transparency do you like? Like, do you share the analytics? Do you share the algorithm? And how could it be understandable to other people who read it? Okay, should be explained too. The first opposition, uh, they also like thinking about the price of the implementation, the price of the improvement. Yes, when we are calling about the Southeast Asia country, well, I'm not trying to underestimate Malaysia. Like, yes, I'm from outside of the country, but I don't have any tend to like to estimate anything. But here, if we talk about this Malaysia, we should just talk about okay, how much Malaysia can afford, how much Malaysia can make this. No, oh yes, if we talk about policy, you don't talk about policy. All of you, I mean, like the first and the third speaker of the opposition, don't ever talk about policy or rules or something like that because in the end of the day, we are here debating, trying to change the rules, right? We are talking about rules. Don't ever bring UN. Don't ever bring like I mean the rules, okay? The stipulation, the establishment. Like when you are saying about that, you're telling us that okay, it has been done, so it's undebatable. No, it's not. It's not like that. It's debatable. That's why we debate here. That's why we try to change the rules. That's why we try to change the thing. So that's not a good argument. That's like you are trying to stop this debate. That's like something like that. So prove us why if we talk about Malaysia, why don't they trust in AI? That's what you should deliver. Okay. Meanwhile, I true get what you mean about the high cost implementation, even if you don't have deep analysis to it as well, because like if you like if you want to say if you want to deliver that high cost is so much a problem. So you have to correlate it to Malaysia, which is Malaysia is not Japan. Malaysia is not Elon Musk. Malaysia is not like etc. etc. That's the big problem. Here, I come to the government, the next government. Okay, when the DPM and also the GW, I think GW, they made some statements that I really wish more than that. Like, yes, this is a dream. This is American. This is like the Malaysian dream. But what is so important to this dream? What is so urgent to people like who wants this kind of life? Because when people works with people like the civil servants, like the people who are working for the government like that. When it comes to AI, some people will be cut in the employment, right? So is this the dream? And if you say it's a dream, why people wants this so much? Why Malaysian people wants this so much when they are living like developing countries? If I'm not mistaken, okay, it's like the rest of the Southeast Asian countries. So what it is so important? You should rely to it, and I don't really get what you mean like major improvement to employment. I mean like here you should like make the correlation better. If you even want to connect that like okay, we are going to make major improvement, so we are creating employment. You should bring something like the bridge, like the connection between it. Like, okay, if I want to make the major improvement, then we need more experiments, we need more people to build something, to study something, blah 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 blah. So that's the correlation. If you say that major improvement brings employment, how it comes from? That's the question. So think about that. So make something like arguments are not just summon, it's like it has reason. I know that I'm an educator. I know I have been in the debate like millions of times, maybe, right, hundreds of times. But at least you do elaboration, you do explanation to me. That's why your arguments are more logical, are more persuasive than the others. Then you said about emotional errors. Emotional errors did good too, but how is the implementation of it? I mean, like I didn't see any like good AREL here. When you're making an argument, like make sure that you have solution reasonings like evidence and link back. This is like basic debate like I'm talking about. Even if you are better than that, you could make like low arguments, middle arguments, and high arguments. The what professional debater has done this before, like something like that. So reduce the human errors, like having human routine, like changing best companies. I don't really get what the correlation to Malaysia itself, because when we are talking about governing, when we are talking about overseeing, like organizing a country in the size of Malaysia, we should make like a bigger analysis. Like it's not about like AI in the factory. It's more than that. It's like politics. It's in the social. It's in the cultures. It's in the economic. Well, you did mention the economics, but I don't really what I don't really get why people should invest on this environment. Meanwhile, in the second opposition, uh, you mentioned that this could be the worst. This could be the best. So both of you, all of you guys, try to make something like you also think about other side's best case. When the best case happen, what happens in your case, something like that. So make sure, even if in their best case you are still winning, make sure like that. Yes, I think it's a good start to say something like this: best or worse. Okay, best or worst for the quest to happen. But just mention it, the opposition. But I didn't see that you talk about their best case. Even if I see that you are more relevant in case of the transparency. When we were calling this one, it could be like disclosure. It could be like anything like uh, a lack of the data itself. when you're saying about power and money, as the first speaker of the government said, so it is about the manipulation. Okay, when they have money, they have power to do something like cheating or something. That's really a good analysis on this to me. Even if it's not that deep, but I think it's deep enough to be counted. And the data, so the other privacy, it can be high, it can be hacked. So a little bit advice to you: make sure that you also think about this country. Okay, this like Malaysia, Indonesia, Vietnam, Thailand, maybe when you have something as bigger as AI who can control the government, who can control the uh, country, it is really possible. It is really probable to them to make it like as a business, selling them to company, as we can say, to company, to other side, something like that. And that's why I think you should also talk about the place. Why it is not supportive, you know. So in the other side, government should also tell why the place is also supportive, because we are not implementing AI in developed countries, but developing countries it is okay. But in other hand, I like the rebuttal to the interaction when they say that this is the interaction from the public and the government. When the AI govern and oversee the country of Malaysia, so they say that how about if the interaction when the AI is the government itself, so the government could manipulate, could make the stories themselves. So this is what the government should the government side should like ensure, guarantee that this won't get any trouble. This won't get anything like what subjective. When you're saying that human have biases, that's why human make these machines, right? When they come to their biases, they're using these machines and they are manipulating things. That's the problem. So you have to stop this to happen. When also you said about cybersecurity, about this lacking data hacking system, when you also admit that the data the data consists of amount large of database, it's so what it's so harmful. It's so really harmful. It's a loss, a big loss when it comes to other parties using it. Okay, so when you're saying that cybersecurity, how this ability goes, how this side make sure that this site is a very confidential, it is very integrated, it is very fair and safe. When the data is gone to machines, when somebody use that machine, somebody smarter, somebody with the capability, they can just like control the data. So that's why, is there any like barriers, is there any like password, and you should also mention who is the who is the man or who making the machines, who is the man who control the machines, who is the man who controls the country when it comes to govern the country. So so you also mentioned about the presidential like panels, also the Senate or something. You should also mention about it, because this is like government. This is not this is not like AI for cars, AI for etc. This is much bigger. So the topic should be larger, should be broader. When you're saying about accountability, transparency, fairness, well, just make something like, where is the transparency, what is the accountability, creating interaction, how it comes, like creating transfer, people try to say something that the government will hear or something like that. You can just like say, okay, we have visual, we have speech recognition, people can say out loud, and then it can be heard by the government. Don't forget to mention how the government could really hear their voice, because there are if there are many voices, and how could you decide which voice is uh, what's supposed to be heard. Okay, then the third government, I don't understand. I mean, here, the government and the third all making the same mistake. The first one is the third government also saying, but this Google, when they can, hey, this is beneficial. Oh, yes, we invest, but we can also beneficial in the future. Like it is only using like uh, electricity, etc., etc. But you didn't actually mention about the experimental or something like the making the product production cost. Okay, when it comes to production cost of machines, of database or something like that, it could be high, and you should just make sure that this is not high or something like that. Making cooperation with other countries could be an option, but you didn't mention that. And also, you mentioned that it could be like saving money in the future when you are connecting it to Google. Okay, Google software, we're using internet and electricity. I don't think this is relevant or something like what proper or practical example to this motion, because the motion is not about this like housekeeping or something like hardware or something like more macros. This is the macro, or this is like larger topic, larger like impact. When the other side, the third opposition also say, but things like unrealistic expectation, Malaysia does not have policy. This is just like, I'm not talking about policy here. I'm trying to talk about we are making a policy, not talking about the earlier policy, because it has been done whatsoever. Like, we are trying to talk about it. We're not talking to fix it. Just like, what is the debate for anyway? So talking about social media, and here when it is like social media, make sure that, yes, I know what you mean. I know that this could be like a bigger what loss to government if they could like make the social media even like what more manipulative. But you have to emphasize that the social media is coming from the government. When it comes to social media like Facebook, like YouTube, even are they even from Malaysia? Like it's not made in Malaysia, right? It's controlled by the other countries. So social media is not that good example, I think. But yeah, I could see your point here. I could see your point because many data manipulation is good. Data infrastructure, Petali Jaya, and privacy has been leading over the Google political issue and employment here. Yes, what I think what you should really focus on is employment opposition team, employment, and how this country, how this governmental decision, how governmental acting like goes. You should just like comes to your mind that this is governed. So if the government is AI making decisions, so presidents is not useful, is blah blah blah, it's not useful. So you should ask them to that. How could they react? So opposition should really think about it. So I think it's just so close debate, I think. But I don't know. I think I will how much give the margin, but I have decided the best speaker too. Okay. The debate of today, based on my analysis, goes to the opposition team. Congratulations and congratulations, the opposition team. Good job for you guys. If you want personal feedback, you could reach me or approach me on WhatsApp. And congratulations to the government team. You did well too, but I need more like deeper analysis and like correlation and relevancy of the argument. The best speaker of today is the deputy leader of opposition. Congratulations. But also for the other speakers of the opposition, you should be more like understanding to the topic. Also for the government. Thank you so much, guys. You can react with me at the WhatsApp or even something else. Thank you.
Okay, with that ends the preliminary round 3, room 4 of today's debate. Congratulations to the winning team, and we extend our gratitude towards the honorable adjudicator as well as committee. Thank you for your patience, everyone. I think the quarterfinal round will actually start at around 3 p.m. and I don't think there'll be a separate session for announcing the breaks. So just like pay attention to, I think you all are in like a WhatsApp group for the participants, right? So they should announce who will actually break to the quarterfinals in there. So thank you everyone for your patience.